I am a filmmaker because of one realization, and that is that filmmakers don't need to be artists. Or at least I'm not. I realized that filmmaking is just solving a puzzle, literally problem solving, and the goal is to tell a story. When you're filming, you're trying to figure out, how do I manipulate the light and the framing to get the shot that I want? When you're editing, you're looking at all your pieces, your footage, your music, your sound effects, and your graphics, and what's the best way of putting these together? When you're writing a script, you're trying to figure out, how do I get my main character to go from point A to point B? You have all of these different puzzle pieces, and you're trying to figure out, how do I put them together in the best way possible to tell this story? Some of the puzzle pieces are tools like your camera and lens, microphone, lights, drones, gimbals, all of that stuff. Some of the pieces are ideas or vision that you have for the project. You know, you want it to be moody but still funny. You want everything to be center framed. You want it all shot on this one particular lens so the look is uniform across the whole movie. Some of them are skills like directing or communicating or filming or editing or knowing how to sound design. Some of them are environments, locations, and places, and some of them are people, whether it's your crew or actors or even clients. You have to take all of these pieces and put them together with the purpose of telling a story. Rarely, if ever, do you have to go deep into the hidden corners of your brain to conjure some sort of magical thing that comes out all at once and it's finished and it's called art and it just happens and flows naturally. More often, and maybe always, it's just how good are you at solving this puzzle? And this is pretty freaking great news. Why? Well, it means that we don't have to be some sort of like superhuman genius artists that have to go on shrooms and acid to get onto like a next level of creativity. You just need to gather the puzzle pieces and figure out what's the best way of putting them together. And because of this realization, I'm able to create something that in the end people think is art, but I'm just problem solving. And my brain loves this because I don't feel like much of an artist and my brain is just too logical. But putting filmmaking this way means that me, a non-artist, can make films. For example, let's say I was asked to make a video for a tourism board. Okay, maybe I would make a video about a person stuck in the mundane rat race of life, and then they start daydreaming, a place that's still and tranquil and beautiful and free. Maybe there's a voiceover saying it's calling. And then all of a sudden it cuts back to being in the city and it's loud and obnoxious. Now I just made that up, and I guarantee you, as soon as I said tourism board, you had your own ideas that came up and started to kind of take you all sorts of places. And even if you were just following along my idea, you would have had no idea what imagery or video clip or sound or music was gonna come next. And I could have color graded it so the city stuff was all black and white, and then like the traveling, being away stuff is all really vibrant and rich colors. Or I could have used this song instead of the one that I originally chose. I could have solved this puzzle in a million different ways, and so could you, and that is our unique style. There isn't really a right way, but there is a guaranteed way that will lead to crappy videos. By the way, all the music and the footage in this video that I'm using as examples is from Artlist, and right now they're giving away 2 free months plus 10% off for their holiday sale. And I love having a subscription to Artlist because it just expands the puzzle pieces that I can work with. There are endless high quality songs, sound effects, and footage to choose from for your videos. Or should I say puzzle. Or you can even have AI suggest you sound effects to go along with your footage. There's no way I could just think of random things and find the images and the sounds for it basically instantly without Artlist. So get your 2 months free and 10% off right now. Follow the link down below and add a whole bunch of puzzle pieces to your puzzle solving. Thanks so much, Artlist, for sponsoring this video and for supporting my whole channel and my business this whole year. I am forever grateful. And like I said, you might use these puzzle pieces from Artlist in a completely different way than I would. There are a trillion ways to solve the puzzle, and how you solve it is your unique style. But it doesn't really matter what your unique style is if you only have like 3 puzzle pieces to solve the puzzle. That's like saying I'm gonna film a feature film about an epic space war, and you have just the right amount of budget to buy a camera and a lens, and you know how to turn on the camera, but you don't really know how to change the settings, and you have no actors. Yeah, unfortunately, no matter how you put those pieces together, it's probably gonna be a pretty crappy feature film. On the other hand, if you have 100 or 1,000 puzzle pieces, then you can solve a pretty intricate and compelling and beautiful puzzle. This would be like the equivalent of not only having enough money to buy the camera, but also knowing how to use it and having extra budget to pay for a crew and having the connections to the right crew and working well with the crew and being able to lead them. So when there's tough times, we're gonna get through this, and having the skills to direct actors and having actors and the skills to organize the shoot and being able to make the audience laugh and smile and cry and frustrate them, when you should cut the clip, when you should use this song or that song, when to bring in sound effects, proper color correction, beautiful color grading, and the right export settings so that you don't have a bunch of just digital mush. Where should I put the video, etc., etc., etc. Every puzzle piece is a skill or an idea or constraint to accomplish the task of telling a story. It isn't just a bunch of skills and things that you've learned, it's also a bunch of constraints and figuring out, what do I do with this situation? For example, if I have a YouTube video to make and I want to make it while snowboarding and I have to promote this brand or this product and I'm the only person filming and I only have 1 day to make it happen, what can I do with these pieces? What is the best story that I can tell, or what's the best way of putting these together to tell the story that I want? And the more pieces we have, the more opportunities you have to really make it your unique style. And I think the more profound the finished puzzle can be. So with this analogy, here's how you can become a really successful filmmaker. Number 1, get puzzle pieces. And that means learning everything and anything that you can that remotely relates to filmmaking. I know when I first got into filmmaking, I just craved learning, whether it was like watching tutorials or hanging out with other filmmakers. I just wanted to take it all in. But it's not only skills and learning, it's also being smart with your money so that you can buy gear and have an office and have the things that you need to tell your story, or even budget to actually make your feature film happen. Or networking with crews so you have the right people to work with, or actors, or even making sure you have a good relationship with your clients so that you have actual puzzles to solve. Number 2 is understanding your style. What's your way of putting the puzzle together? And I think the only way to figure that out is by putting together puzzles. It is by going out there and making stuff. Anything and everything, every project will teach you something about how you like to put these puzzles together. And 3 is confidence. So when somebody asks you to solve a puzzle, or there's a puzzle that you want to solve, you know how to use all of your puzzle pieces, all the skills and all of the things, the ideas and constraints, and figure out the best way to tell your story. What's the best way of putting this puzzle together? Literally problem solving. And the more confident you are in your style and how you like doing things, the easier that all is. It's still not easy and it's still figuring out piece by piece, but it's just way easier to kind of have a direction almost when you're confident in your puzzle pieces and how you put those pieces together, your style. Kind of sounds like learn, make, repeat, which is completely blurred out because I shallowed up the field. Every puzzle is different and everybody has different puzzle pieces to finish it with. So there's no point in comparing yourself to other people because they're working on a completely different puzzle. But it is 100% up to you to become the best damn puzzle solver there ever was. I wonder how many times I've said puzzle in this video. Probably too many, but this is my favorite thing about filmmaking. You can literally come up with anything, but it doesn't just start with this like finished puzzle that we pull out of our genius artist brain. It's literally you grabbing puzzle piece by puzzle piece and putting it together until you've accomplished the task of telling a story. You do not need to be an artist to be a filmmaker. And I really like that. All right, see you guys, bye.